We've seen our first three teams come to the line. Stormy with Stuart Williams, Dre with Steven Gooseman, and Smoke with Ron Anderson. Now it's time to complete this amateur division final and see the last three teams come to the line. Today we crown a new 2022 Crown Champion. Who will it be? Welcome to the 2022 Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. Hello everyone, I'm your host David Hamilton alongside J. Paul Jackson and Rhodey Best. And guys, we're about to crown a Crown Champion in the amateur division.
Yes sir, David, and it's great to be here with you, Rhodey.
It's wonderful to be here.
Now, Rhodey, we've already seen three of these teams run with three remaining. What are the biggest challenges in this test?
Yeah, this test got a lot of challenges. I think the long white coat field trial mark on the left, don't overlook that one. And the blind, getting through the obstacles to get to the blind, not only jumping the hay bales, but getting to the end and finishing in the trees has been very tough.
Now, J. Paul, walk us through this test and what these judges are looking for from these dog and handler teams.
You know, we've got three of the best judges in the business in Jerry Day, Randy Price, and Sean Sims. And Rhodey, you're exactly right. We've seen those two birds be really tough, but all five, in reality, could be a problem for the dogs. So let's start out with the very first bird. Field trial mark comes out first, 247 yards, right to left. Second at 157, left to right. Another field trial mark comes out, white coats in the field. You know the dog off those, run a blind, 250 yards into the woods and over those hay bales. Now, those pine straw bales are important because if you miss those, you take a 50-point penalty. Go to Thor boat, grab some shells, load up, shoot number 3. Comes out a little over 100 yards right to left. Number 4, in your face, 60 yards. And finally, number 5, the go bird at about 101 yards, comes out left to right. This is a mallard. So we've got 2 field trial marks and 3 hunt test style marks to go along with that blind.
And once that last bird hits the ground, you can pick the 5 birds up in any order you want to. Now let's take a quick look here at our leaderboard. After 3 of our competitors have run, 3 more are set to run. Rhodey, what are these judges looking for?
Well, obviously with a test of this size and magnitude, there's a lot going on. They're going to be looking closely at the marking and memory of the dogs. And then when the handler sits down with the dog and shoots the gun, they're also going to have to watch for control and line manner. So it's going to take a dog that's very well balanced. The faults can consist of 2, 5, 10, and 20-point faults. And of course, we have that 50-point fault for missing the hay bales on the blind.
And now we're taking a look at our fourth competitor, our first here in this episode. This is Traeger and Ray Cato. They're newcomers to the SRS Crown Championship, hailing from Groveland, Florida.
Yes, and Traeger's a hunt test dog. He's a grand hunting retriever champion and a master hunter. His registered name is My Daddy's the Big Black Dude. Of course, Dude had a very storied career here at the Crown Championship and several of his pups on the ground running today. How many faults did he come in here with, David?
325 faults through 4 series. And again, if you're new to this sport, think of it like golf. The fewer faults, the better.
I don't know if y'all noticed there, but when he went to run this blind, he moved the dog over from his left side to his right side, and that's something handlers will do to help cue the dog that this is a blind. What you've seen on the left is not about what you're going to do. You're going to go on to my right, and now you're going to do something different, which is what he's doing right now and running that blind.
And as we take a look at the run here, we had a chance to catch up with Ray and find out more about Traeger.
Well, let's see. He's got he just earned his Grand Hunting Retriever title the week before we came here, and he's a master hunter. And he's got, Carol got a master plate on him when he was 2.5 years old. He's more of a hunt test dog. We've done hunt tests for the first 4.5 years of his life and haven't even thought about doing the long stuff until about the last year. He doesn't lay still, so like if I get up and go someplace and he's in the room, he follows me around. Does the same with Carol. He's got to be with his people.
While Ray was telling us a little bit more there about Traeger, we saw him complete the blind for a total of 33 faults.
Yeah, David, 33 points. You got to think Ray is pretty happy starting off like that on here. And now we're going to see him grab the shells and gun and see how Traeger handles being shot over.
Tell you, I like this dog's intensity at the line. I also really like his line manners. I mean, he's moving a little bit, but he's very, very focused. Heard Ray give him a little sit right there, and oh.
Yeah, that's a surprise there. I thought he was looking at that right bird. I have to think that either Traeger wanted the shorter bird over on the left, or perhaps he didn't see the bird on the right.
Well, I feel like he definitely saw the left bird, and that's why he chose it. Here, you know, he's going for that middle bird, which we'd want to. He's had a couple of handles that we missed right there, so he's racked up some points.
Yeah, now we're going to see if he really saw this bird or not, because Ray's sent him towards it, but he's pretty far right. Yep, he's going to have to handle early. I'm going to have to guess that Traeger didn't see that bird, and that's why he didn't pick it up first.
He picked up that first one pretty clean with 4 faults, but to your point, on that second and third one, some handles, so he had a 48 and a 43 on that second and third mark.
Yeah, we still got 2 birds remaining. The first of the field trial marks. Got a good initial line, and those whitecoats are standing out in the field. Traeger's got to think, you know, just got to get to the right of these guys. This bird's over here somewhere.
Yeah, he's checked up a little bit, but he's never totally broken down.
Boom, he nails it for only a 3 right there. Really nice run on that field trial mark.
Yeah, that was a really good score for that mark. Now this bird, we've seen previous handlers, they need to be left of that big tree out there, and if they get right, it's not a good place to be.
No, it's definitely become a no man's land. Ray's choosing to handle here now. Oh man, I tell you, and Ray is nervous. Look at his hands shaking. You've been there like that, haven't you, Rhodey?
Yeah, I can tell you, there's a lot of pressure. You know, you're in the finals, a lot of cameras, a lot of people watching, and me as a handler, I can control my body, I can control how fast or slow I move, but when you hold that hand out there and you see it shaking, you can't really stop that.
Always, you know, big events like this, no matter how many times you go to the line, nerves definitely play a factor. And you got to think, with an amateur, been running at a high level, Traeger had an incredible score in the first series. It's been near the top of the leaderboard. There's a lot riding on this for Ray, and you know, it definitely shows.
He's got him pretty far right, kind of hard to see. Really needs to get a left cast at him here quickly, or his score is going to run up pretty quick.
It's heated up a little bit out there, but it doesn't seem to be affecting badly. He's still got a lot of gas, and there it is.
Yep, and a 34 on that final mark for a total of 190 here in Series 5 and a 515 total through all 5 series, putting them in second place behind Ron and Smoke. Now, when we come back, we're going to get a look at our amateur team of the year, John Lamar and Smokey. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba. Sporting dogs give us everything we ask and then some. Their nutrition should do the same. By the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, visit Shreveport-Bossier, and by Louisiana Tourism. Feed your soul. Welcome back to the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship presented by Eukanuba. We're here in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana. A great venue for this year's Crown Championship. And you know, the folks with the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission have been so hospitable. Very grateful for everything they've done for us. We're here at our final series. It's taking place at the WK Palmetto Event Center, a beautiful location. Such a great day to just pull up a chair and watch the best retrievers in the world compete at this competition. Now, up to the line now, we have John Lamar and Smokey coming into this series with 310 faults.
That's right, David. And there's got to be a lot of eyes on John and Smokey right now. They've had a very consistent year. I know a lot of the handlers are watching intently as John starts to run this blind. Hopefully he can get over this hay bale with no 50-point penalty.
Yeah, you know, John says that his dog's strengths are marking and the ability to adapt and to be a team player. And definitely it requires a dog that can be a team player here. That is a very tight corridor blind. He had a lot of trouble with it. And I'll tell you what, that was a really, really good right angle back cast he took. He's got a good chance to finish this blind with a really good score.
Yeah, he had a good line going all the way from those hay bales all the way to that tree. John stopped him right there as he approached the trees and has had a couple whistles now to finish, and that's a good place to be right there.
As we see Smokey pick it up there for a blind score of 36 faults. John got to be pleased with that run.
I'm sure he's really happy now as he walks over to the Thor boat and grabs some shells, fixing to come back and load up. Now, we said this was a field trial hunt test hybrid, so the field trial marks were the first 2. Now we shoot the 3 hunt test marks.
And Smokey's just sitting there like it's just another day at work. No big deal for him. I'm really impressed as he follows the gun very well, the barrel, and sees all 3 of these birds really well. That should benefit him.
Rhodey, you were talking a few moments ago about how great of a year they've had this year. In fact, John and Smokey are our Eukanuba Amateur Team of the Year. We asked John for his thoughts on winning that award.
Winning Team of the Year is a huge accomplishment. We didn't do real well in the first one, but he won the next one, and he ended up winning 5 SRSs this year, and he got a second and a third. So I'm real happy with his performance all year. He's been very consistent, and he loves the game. I am very proud to be donating to the Camilla Foundation. My wife recently retired, so she's been retired for about a year. Beth Boykin asked her, said, well, won't you come to one of our meetings and see if there's something you'd be willing to help with? So she did, and it's for youth that have different problems, and they go in and they do a lot of counseling and stuff like that, which my wife was into counseling and all when she was in the education system. I think it's a great cause, and I'm glad to see that my donation went to the Camilla Foundation.
Well, congrats once again to John and Smokey on being Amateur Team of the Year. Rhodey, how about you catch us up on their run so far?
Well, John and Smokey had no trouble at all with the first 2 marks, but then we see a little bobble on the 3rd mark, had to handle, and now we're watching them have to handle on the 4th mark, which is a big surprise to me. This is a standout white coat mark, usually something Smokey could do very well, but something got him there.
Yeah, he definitely hung up and started hunting short. He's burning a lot of gas, and I'll tell you what, he's still got quite a bit of work to do. Seen a lot of dogs. Seems like that golf cart kicks him off a little bit to the right, and sure enough, he's dropping down into that no man's land. He's had a solid week so far. Not the place to be going into this last bird, though.
You know, that was a real nice handle, though. He didn't let him get too far off, stopped him before he got over there in that danger zone, and has not had any trouble getting him left now. He's a little deep of the bird, but in great shape to come back here and pick this bird up without too much trouble.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking a look over there at it, but
I swear he just saw it. It looked like he looked at it. I guess he's going to go back and double check. Let me see again. Was that what I thought I saw? Yep, that was.
56 faults there on that final mark. That moves them into 2nd place now, pushing Traeger and Ray Cato to 3rd, but they're still trailing Smoke and Ron Anderson, who are in the lead. Man, this is a tight competition. Up next, though, we're going to head back over to the dock for some Superfly. We're back at the dock at the Louisiana Boardwalk, and it's the Super Retriever Series Super Dock presented by Eukanuba. This is the Super Fly division. Pro Elite, these are the high-flying distance jumpers. Think like track and field. You get to jump twice. Longest jump is the one that we keep. 3 more dogs to go as we take a look here at our leaderboard. And through the first round, the longest jump is 27 feet. Now here's a good look at Blue. Blue is with handler John Tabak from Midlothian, Texas. There goes Blue.
Blue is a border collie, and wow, look at that dog get some air. Nearly caught that frisbee.
man, that was a heck of a jump, and bam, we see it there in the replay. He got his teeth on it, I believe.
23 feet 11 inches, that'll move him possibly into 2nd place. We'll have to see. Up next is going to be Tex and handler Troy Justice from Bristol, Tennessee. Tex is a Belgian Malinois. As you see Troy line him up there for their run here. About the only thing faster than these dogs is how fast we have to talk in this competition. And there goes Tex.
Tex is a big Malinois. Look at the size of that dog, and he leaves probably 5 or 6 feet early off that jump.
Yeah, he jumped early, but still had a 21 feet 7-inch jump. Here is Bella and Heidi Patterson. Her last jump, J. Paul, 27 feet. That's going to put her in first, but you think she can beat that jump?
I don't know, she's guaranteed first place, we'll see, but I think he came up just a little bit short. Nevertheless, Bella is still gonna be the champion here in our Superfly Pro Elite division.
Absolutely. Big congrats going out to Bella and Heidi Patterson on their crown win. Blue and John Tabak get second, and Tex and Troy Justice get third. When we come back, we'll leave the pool, head back out over to the field for the retriever trials. Stick with us. The Super Retriever Series Crown Championship is presented by Eukanuba. Sporting dogs give us everything we ask and then some. Their nutrition should do the same. by Thor Boats and Lucky Duck Kennels, and by Splash Super Pools. Welcome back to the Super Retriever Series presented by Eukanuba. We're back over here at the WK Palmetto Event Center with the last dog in the amateur division, Rip, with handler Ron Anderson. They come into this series with 264 faults.
Yeah, and Rip is one of the youngest dogs here in the competition, definitely the youngest dog in the final at only 3 years old. Registered name, Feliciana, go big or go home. And in true Louisiana fashion, love the way he spells go, G-E-A-U-X.
Yeah, now, J. Paul, he may have the age factor being a limitator, but Ron having 2 dogs in the finals, you got to think his advantage in running a second dog is going to help him a little bit here.
No doubt. He's got a good look at the test before, and he trains both of these dogs himself, so he knows how they're going to react. He's had a good chance to look at the test with Smoke, who, by the way, I believe is in second place. So basically, he's got this amateur division locked up. It's just a matter of who it will be. We're about to find out.
And as you said there, Ron trains both of his dogs, so he knows them quite well. And although Rip is only 3 years old, he's already showing quite a bit of personality. Let's hear from Ron as he tells us more about his dog, Rip.
This is Rip. He is he's actually my baby, I guess. I kept him out of a litter I had put together when I bred my dog Bella to Fox, NFC, AFC Fox, Lauren Hayes' male. I've had him since 7 weeks old, and I had Grace Williams raise the litter. Then I picked him out. He was my pick of the litter, and I've had him since then, and I've done all the training on him to this point. So he's a little ahead of schedule, you know, for 3. He's a little early. He's figured he was a couple years down the road, but he's a very good marking dog. He's a team player, very smart. Rip's the guy that wants to be everybody's friend. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He's a jokester. He would be the comedian of the jokester. Now he loves to, like this morning, he was there and he picked up a plastic cup and just throws it around and runs it around in front of the dogs and, you know, above the dogs. He's just a happy-go-lucky. Nothing really bothers him. You know, he doesn't get stressed. Not mean, so he wants to be everybody's friend.
And as we watch the conclusion here of that blind, 81 faults. You heard Ron say there that nothing really gets to Rip, so we'll see if Rip can put the blind behind him and master all these marks.
Yeah, that's a rough start on that blind. 81 points for that blind is going to definitely put Ron at a position where he needs to make up a lot of ground here in the next remaining marks.
Well, but you did hear him say there in the interview that marking is Rip's strong suit. So he certainly believes coming into this that blind, it may not have been what he was looking for, but it's not necessarily a limiting factor. He believes that Rip has the ability to go out and just crush these marks.
Well, I tell you what, he is a good-looking dog. A lot of size to him. I like his coat quality, his face, everything about that dog is good-looking.
Right there, you see picks up that first mark with only 1 fault.
Looking good on the second one here, too.
A second mark as well with only 1 fault, so definitely Rip showing his strengths as a marking dog here after the first 2 birds.
Kudos to Ron for coming back after that rough start on that blind, and looks like, bam, picks up the 3rd mark with no problem at all. I mean, they literally are just coming back and crushing these marks.
Yeah, 1 fault, and then 2. So impressive on those 3 marks. Let's see about this field trial mark here.
Well, he's definitely got the 2 hardest marks ahead of him, but number 4 is giving a lot of dogs trouble. He looks to be dead on. Starts to break down and look, no, he's right there in the area. Now would be a good time to point out also, you know, you heard Rhodey talking about the scoring earlier, as we see he picked up just 2 faults on that, and the 2-point, the 5-point, the 10-point faults. Also new to the SRS, relatively new, changed the rules recently. The judges also give an ordinal score to each mark on a scale of 1 to 10. So, you know, he got as good as you could get on 2 of those with a 1.
Yeah, after getting 81 on that blind, to your point there, J. Paul, through those first 4 marks, only 6 faults total.
Yeah, and he handled early on this bird, this last remaining bird, but I think he was playing it safe. I think that was a very good move. Comes out in a very good position.
34 faults, there you have it. A total of 118 puts them in first place, meaning that Rip and Ron Anderson are your 2022 crown champions. Ron will also take home second place with Smoke. John Lamar and Smokey come in third.
That was a lot of fun. It's been a fun week. Rip did well. You never know. Like Rip's a 3-year-old, so everything we're doing is for the first time. So you didn't know how he was going to react and handle certain things. That he ran very mature for his age. Since he was 7 weeks old, I've groomed him for this moment. He's the first dog that I built from 7 weeks old till now to run the crown.
Congrats once again to Ron and Rip and to all our competitors here in the finals. Next week, we'll start all again with our open division and some dock competition. We'll see you next time right here on the Super Retriever Series Crown Championship, presented by Eukanuba.